Hello everyone, welcome back. I'm Rae. So I do have a story out of Africa in general. African pastors and evangelists are praying for Donald Trump to win the election. But I'm going to read for you an article from BBC and then I come and share some thoughts. So there is a Pastor Chris Oyakilome. He's a famous Nigerian pastor. He says pray for him at Trump because when God places any of his children in a position, he'll sometimes do everything to destroy that individual. And then he also warned that critics of the Republican president, who is seeking a re-election in November, dislike his supporters. They are angry at Trump, quoting his words, for supporting Christians. You better know it. So the real ones that they hate are you Christians, are telling his congregation. According to a Pew Research poll released in January, where supporters do not appear to be bothered that he is reportedly referred to African countries as shithole countries. I said that over the time. Many evangelical Christians in Africa, of course, are anti-abortion, anti-gay rights as well. They support Israel. So they were not keen on Mr. Trump's predecessor, that is Barack Obama. Barack Obama is not as popular as Trump because Democrats are more liberal. So quoting Pastor Richard Chogo, the Obama administration had been pushing a liberal agenda here in Africa, and that agenda was of concern to some of us, the Christian leaders, because, of course, Donald Trump is against, abortion and gay rights and all that. So Christians here in Africa feel that is a thing. He is on their side, he's supporting the Bible, he's supporting Christianity. So that's why they're identifying with him a lot. He went on to praise the Trump administration for cutting funding to organizations such as Marriage Stops, which provide contraception services and also safe abortion services to young women, because that is against the Bible, apparently. So Pastor Chogo agrees with the law in Kenya where abortion is illegal unless a mother's health is in danger, saying that to legalize the termination of pregnancies is part of a population control agenda. Not everyone in Pastor Chogo's church agree with him. Most feel that unlike Mr. Biden, a church-going Christian Catholic, Mr. Trump, who is not known for his church attendance, is standing up for Christian values all over the world. We've seen Trump, supporting Christians. It is a case of going to church but not following the values, and not going to church but pushing the values of the church. So they feel like Trump is not a church goer but at least pushes the values of the church and the values of Christianity as well. Mr. Trump recently reminded his Christian supporters in a series of tweets that religious freedom and abortion were at stake if he did not win in November. So we are going to get a view from another Nigerian pastor known as Emeka Ezeji, who is a vicar and an archdeacon for a missionary Christ Anglican church in Nigeria. He says that his political views are only determined by what the scripture says. He says that faith is personal, mine is pro-life. African Christians believe that a Republican president is better for the US and the world at large. And that's what this Nigerian pastor believes. So he has been praying for Trump to beat Joe Biden when it comes to November 3rd, and also been praying for him to, get cured from his coronavirus disease that he has been suffering from. So this Nigerian pastor, known as Emeka Ezeji, goes on to dismiss the Black Lives Matter movement, which Trump referred to as a symbol of hate, saying it has been hijacked, or diverted from its mission. This Nigerian pastor supports Trump's idea. And quoting his words, he says, are other people of color less victims of racism? Is the life of an average black person better today than 7 years ago? Or is the average black person worse off today under President Trump than during Obama's presidency when the Black Lives Matter movement started? Mr. Trump has boasted that he has done more for African Americans than any other president in the US history, often taunting low employment in the first 3 years in office. Ezeji goes on to say that he feels Mr. Trump has more to do for the greater good, quoting the biblical story of Cyrus, a Persian king chosen by God to conquer Babylon, which allowed Israelites in exile to return to Jerusalem. So this pastor says Trump is like a modern day Cyrus, God is saying He is my servant who will do my will. They believe that's what Trump is. Quoting his words again, Ezekiel says, Trump is like the biblical almond tree, which weather watchers use to read for signs of the time. If he wins, it means we have more time. If he loses, it means we do not have any time. Then there is another one called Reverend Juliet, who says he is chosen by God. That's what she believes, and God wanted a bulldog, referring to Trump. He is a fan of Mr. Trump since his days on the reality show The Apprentice. She is holding weekly prayers for his re-election and also marks his birthday with elaborate messages on Facebook. So Pastor Juliet says that God gave her a message before the 2016 election about the real estate billionaire turned politician and his support for religious freedom, which Christians believe is under attack. Quoting her words, he told me he was looking for a bulldog, a man of audacity, because there are certain assignments nice people cannot carry out. So this story is an interesting one because this is pretty much what happens with churches, and religious leaders in Africa. They are out here campaigning for leaders, saying this leader is sent by God, he is chosen by God. So whether the leader is corrupt or a dictator or doing what is not right for the people, Christian leaders especially tend to think all leaders come from God, all leadership comes from God. So it makes you wonder, does God always send the wrong leaders to Africa, Does he always send the corrupt leaders to Africa? Does he always send the dictators to Africa? Just like you're seeing it here. They are praying for Trump because they believe Trump is against, gay rights, so that he supports the Christians, supports the Bible values. He's against abortion, things like that, because he's a Republican and he's not like Joe Biden or Obama. Obama was not popular in Africa, I believe, because of their liberal way of, doing things. So I believe until Africans realize that actually religion doesn't do them any good, but this is just a personal opinion, then I don't know if there will be a change. Because personally, whether it's Trump, whether it's Joe Biden, I think there is no difference, because at the end of the day, Africa just needs Africans to save it. No one is going to come out here and do anything good for Africa apart from Africans themselves. So whether Trump wins, it doesn't benefit Africa anything. Whether Joe Biden wins, it doesn't benefit Africa anything. That's just my opinion. So these pastors are out here thinking, oh, if Trump wins, he's in favor of us Christians. So maybe it shows something about the end times. Share your thoughts in the comments, guys. Check out my YouTube channel called Rae Kembabazi. My Twitter and Instagram also at Rae Kembabazi. The links are pinned on top of the comment section, and see you on the next story. Bye.